got out to see this movie called After the Hunt, which stars Pretty Woman, my least favorite Spider-Man. He wasn't bad. And Girl from The Bear, which is a very good show, and I need to catch up. Heard some mixed reviews about this. The Rotten Tomatoes wasn't great, but it looks intriguing. I know who the director is. He's Italian, so that's always a plus. It deals with some provocative issues. I'm going to go in and check this out, and I'll let you know what I think.
All your generation, you're scared of saying the wrong things. When did offending someone become the preeminent cardinal sin?
Maybe it's around the same time your generation started making sweeping generalizations about ours.
Hank's continued obsession. We're friends.
I need to speak with you, okay? Hank walked me home. He asked for a nightcap, which is fine. Hank, everybody loves Hank.
What are you saying happened?
He crossed the line.
So are you going to tell me why this is not true?
I told her I suspected she plagiarized, and the next day, utter fabrication.
I support whatever you choose.
A reporter approached me.
Don't tell your story to someone who just wants to turn it into something they can sell.
That's your logic?
You scared that we're going to think less of you if it isn't perfect? I'm a desperate man, absolutely desperate.
I don't feel comfortable having this conversation with you anymore.
Not everything is supposed to make you comfortable.
At 2 hours and 19 minutes, that's not a movie you want to drink 2 Starbucks coffees before watching. Let's get a cookie. This is the place. Hello, how are you? What are we doing on chocolate chips today? How many? A few. Give me 2 of those. Well, yeah. Now we're talking. All right, so what did I think? I think the cookie's fantastic, number one. So what do I think of this movie? So neutral to positive. It was very clear from the very first scene what the framing of this movie was all about. I would call it a digestion of the Me Too era, put into a generational context. We'll call it warfare. Generational tension. The performances are great. I'll get to Julia Roberts. The direction, as I expected, was fantastic. Italian director, I can't think of his name, but a very European style. Reminded me of that movie, the Zendaya movie with the tennis and the challengers, was it? That had an European director who I thought lifted what's otherwise a mediocre film. Turns out Luca Guadagnino also directed Challengers. So there you go. So basically, it's a story of university office politics, student-teacher tensions, teacher-to-teacher tensions. Without spoiling anything, you basically have 3 main characters. You have the Julia Roberts character, the Andrew Garfield character, and the Io from The Bear character. They conveniently are a Gen X, a millennial, and a Gen Z. Again, it's more a digestion. And when I say digestion, obviously the Me Too movement kicked off during King Trump I era, the peak woke era, you may say. It tries to frame the issue in the post-woke era, or the King Trump II era. I'm not sure if the movie was filmed before last year's election, although it's been almost a year, and in the editing room you can restructure a film any way you'd like. But it's, at the end of the day, it doesn't really have anything profound to say about the issue. Of course, the conflict is sparked, and the story plays out as you might expect it, procedural, but it most certainly does is turn into a character study. I'll come to Julia Roberts last, but yeah, Andrew Garfield was fine. He plays the Johnny Depp kind of character, the sort of rogue who gets away with things because of his looks and his charm. And the story is about how his number was up on that front. He didn't have screaming fans outside of the courthouse or special hashtags or anything like that. Io's character was the impetus of the plot. She comes in and out throughout the movie. Again, performances were fantastic here. I'm no big Julia Roberts expert. I've not seen all her movies. My favorite film of hers is Erin Brockovich. But this performance was just excellent. Wow, she's a great actress. It reminded me of the 2004 movie Closer with her, Jude Law, Natalie Portman, and I can't remember his name. It's very much a hard-hitting character story. Now, in this film, the commonality I found between Julia Roberts' performance here and in Closer was these are extremely unsympathetic characters. I gotta say, I think she excels when she plays a character who's wholly unlikable, and the movie becomes centered on her character and her flaws, interesting history, and how it impacts the story. Yeah, it was not a waste. Again, I would rate this neutral to positive. Again, at the end of the day, it didn't really have any sort of profound message to it. It just, again, digested those things. The strength of the movie is in the style, the direction. The writing was fairly good. It definitely keeps your interest going for what is a long movie, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Long movie. For me, anyway. The ending was weird. The very last act. In fact, it very much felt like a reshoot. And it was tacked on to, I don't know if I call it a happy ending, but didn't quite make sense to me. But does life ever make sense? No. So it's a good watch if you're sensitive to certain political issues. And there's Kevin Sorbo. He's got plenty of rentals available. The political stuff is very dryly presented. The impact of the political content is very specific to the characters that were drawn and what I thought of the sort of generational differences. I don't know if you want to call it beat over your head political movie. It's definitely a movie that deals with issues, important issues. But it's the characters ultimately that are interesting. Again, not necessarily sympathetic, but interesting. So yes, neutral to positive. I think it had a limited release. It's Amazon MGM. So I think it's one of these things where they put the movie in the theater for a week or two to qualify for the Oscars and then go straight to Amazon. So I'm sure you'll be able to see it very soon. So with that, I'm going to keep on consuming this wonderful cookie. I hope you've enjoyed this little essay, or brain dropping, as I like to say. So with that, until next time, Excelsior. Seriously. Awesome stuff.